Today, we're channeling our inner Dwight Schrute and we're eating more beets. Beets are so good for you. We'll get into the health benefits of it later, but this was another vegetable that you guys wanted help with. So I have 3 really delicious beet recipes for you. First of all, this beet sandwich was out of this world, okay? It was so good. So you're gonna take a little arugula, you're gonna season it up with olive oil, balsamic glaze, some salt and pepper, give it some nice flavor. I love to season arugula when I put it on a sandwich. Just makes it better, takes away that bitter aspect. And then we're gonna cut up some cucumber really thin, slice it nice and thin, so that way we can layer it on our sandwich. So beets, let's talk about something they do for our body while we cut this cucumber up. They can help lower your blood pressure. They can boost your endurance or athletic ability because they're high in nitrates, and they could positively affect your liver health. They're also a good source of antioxidants and have anti-inflammatory properties. While beets are amazing for all these things, they are a little bit of a pain in the butt because they will dye your hands a pretty shade of pink. So just deal with that. And I also decided to not roast my beets. I like to just get pre-roasted, pre-done beets at the store. If you want to roast your own beets, be my guest. Now we're going to take some Kite Hill vegan cream cheese and spread it on that fluffy focaccia. How good does that look? I got it from Whole Foods, but like, oh my God, their focaccia is just delicious. And I knew that the cream cheese and the beets would work really well because I was thinking like goat cheese and beets, you know? So I layered up my cucumbers and then we layered up the beets. These were sliced beets, but I did slice them a little bit thinner just so they could like really lay on there nicely. Add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're gonna add that arugula, and then you're just gonna top that top piece of focaccia on there, and that is it. This sandwich is so delicious. The flavors in here just work so well. And if you're somebody who is new to eating beets or doesn't know how to eat beets, put it in a sandwich. They're delicious. Beets are like sweet and tangy and they're really good. So look at the inside of that, yum. This next recipe is going to make you feel like you went to dinner at a fancy restaurant. Again, I'm using the Love beets. These are whole beets. We're gonna use some blood oranges. And first we're actually gonna start off by making our dressing. So it's super easy. You're gonna add olive oil, lemon, a little bit of salt, pepper, and agave, or you could use maple syrup. I was just out of maple syrup, so I used agave, and mix it up. And this is such a delicious dressing. You could actually just put this, of course, on any salad. It's so good. It's like sour and sweet, absolutely delicious. So then I cut my blood oranges up. Okay, these blood oranges were a little sad. They were a little disappointing. They tasted good, but in terms of looks, they weren't the most beautiful. They weren't the biggest. So I don't know if we're like heading out of blood orange season or these just weren't that great, but they were still good and they work really well with the beets. And then because I expected these to have a little bit more color variation, they didn't really. They kind of just looked almost like beets. I also cut up a CARA orange, which if you've never had a CARA orange, they're so good. And beets and citrus work deliciously together. They are a match made in heaven, like perfect combo. You have to try it. So I just kind of cut both of these things up into little bite-sized pieces. At first I was like trying to cut segments. I don't know. I just eventually just cut it up into pieces. And then I took my beets and I cut them into quarters. The great thing about this salad is it's so easy to scale up or down for however many people you want to serve it with. And like seriously, it just, you'll see it looks fancy. So you're going to pop it on a flat dish, like layer it up, then you're gonna add pistachios on top, which is just that perfect crunch. Then we're gonna add microgreens. We're gonna sprinkle and drizzle our dressing on top. And you could stop there if you want because this is perfect the way it is, but I always love to just add a little bit of flaky salt, so I did that too. And oh my goodness, this was so good. This is a perfect winter salad. For our last recipe, this was inspired by something I saw, I think either on Instagram or TikTok, where a girl made regular caprese, like little hearts for Valentine's Day, but I wanted to do it with the beets because I figured it'd be so good. So I took a block of Miyoko's vegan mozzarella and I cut it in half, and we're only going to use 1/2 of the block for this. And then you're going to take a heart cookie cutter and you're going to just cut it out. And then this was pretty thick still, so I was able to actually cut those hearts in half. When you're using the vegan Miyoko's, just it has to be really cold because otherwise the coconut oil starts to warm up and the cheese becomes more difficult to work with if you're doing something like this. So just keep that in mind. And so yeah, I just cut out all my little hearts. Look how cute they are. This is perfect for Valentine's Day. And then you just take your little pieces of beet that are the pre-sliced ones. You put a little piece of basil, you put the hearts. I drizzled some olive oil and flaky salt, and that was literally it's so cute. It's so easy to make, and this is such a fun way to eat more beets. So I hope these recipes help you out. They'll be written out in the description box down below. Remember to eat your beets. They're really good for you. They're important for us. So I hope this inspired you to get more beets into your life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.